What's up, everybody? John Eric Pauli here with My MMA News, and I finally got a nice little new suit jacket here. I know everyone that's been watching these is probably sick of seeing the same old gray and blue one that I've been wearing. But hey, December's right around the corner. I'll be breaking out the Christmas one here pretty soon for that whole month. But enough of my wardrobe conversation because I'm sure we're not really too concerned about what I'm wearing. We're concerned about who our guest is. And today I'm very excited to talk to today's guest. It is Keri Taylor Melendez, who just picked up a big win at Bellator 252. She defeated Emily King by a first round submission. So let's bring her on in here. Keri, how's everything going out there in California?
Oh, very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, is the weather warm out there? I was talking to Ashley Yoder a few days ago, and she was out in a t-shirt. It was like 80 some degrees outside.
It is, I'm in the Bay Area, so it's colder over here. So it was raining yesterday or the day before, and today it seems like a little bit nicer, but it's not too warm.
All right, I have a Bay Area question for you about the weather. Do you guys, I know it gets colder up that way that you're up in the northern part of the state. Do you get snow up there, though, or does the snow stay away from you?
No, we haven't had snow, but there's been a little hail. But there's no snow, but there's been some hail, some ice on my car window.
All right, well, we had snow the other day, just a little bit like a dusting that came through. So, I'd rather take pretty much all of that other than snow. I can't stand the snow. But we'll talk about this Bellator 252 fight here because I guess for lack of a better terms, it was an ass whooping by you. That was a great performance. You looked fantastic out there. So we'll try to break down this fight the best we could for the about 2.5 minutes that it lasted. So let's start with your stand-up in that fight because you really lit her up on the feet.
Yes, you want me to break down the fight? Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Oh, goodness. Well, you know, we prepared really well for Emily King, and we were supposed to fight her back in May. So she's been on my mind, for almost a year now. And coming into the fight, we knew that she wanted to take it to the ground, and I watched some past fights from her, and I believe, my game plan was to just control the distance, stop her from coming in. I have a lot of great partners that are aggressive fighters like her that could mimic her. And also just go to the body because she was tough and she ate a couple shots. And when she fought Ava Knight, she did I believe she got dropped, but she recovered really well and then got the tap on her. So breaking down the fight, I think I just really controlled the distance pretty well, stuck to the game plan, went to the head, to the body, really wanted to stop her with body shots. And that's what ended up happening. And she was a southpaw. So, I think I was really patient. The plan was not to go in and try to brawl with her and her to be able to grab me and try to jump guard or tie up and anything like that. So I feel like I just controlled the distance pretty well, and she wasn't really able to close the distance on me, and it worked. So
So now,
I don't
what's
know if that was necessarily a breakdown, but just a little recap and little thoughts here and there.
Hey, that worked out perfectly fine. And what I was going to say to following up with that was, once you had her hurt, you ultimately ended up going for the submission. So kind of tell us why that was there, because obviously you were, so effective with your strikes. Why did you make the decision to go in and go for the choke?
I know that she wanted to take me to the ground and, submit or choke me out. And I felt like I had her hurt and I wanted to get the job done. And it was even just a little bit of satisfaction that I was able to get the tap on her when I knew that's what she wanted to do. So I just wanted to end it, and I could see her hurt, and I felt like, instinctually I just went for it, and that's what came.
So now after the fight, when you went to your post-fight interview, I was actually on the coverage that night, so I remember listening in on it. And you said that you had an injury during camp. So I was just wondering how you're feeling now.
I felt great. Just saying that I know everybody has injuries, so I didn't want to just go in on that when I know that every fighter doesn't go into a fight 100%. So it was just, when you have a certain injury that's kind of lingering, it was just on my mind a little bit more. So it was, and it stopped me from doing certain things in training. But like I said, everybody goes through that. So I'm not special. And it was just a little bit of lingering thing that I had to deal with that I was like, little bit bummed out about.
You had to, if I remember correctly, you said you had to take like a week or two off of camp, correct? So, what was that like? You're in the middle of preparing for a big fight, and you have to take a week or two off right in the middle of your camp like that.
It was more towards the beginning. We were actually going to fight a little bit earlier. They offered the fight to me, and I really wanted to take it. And because of my injury, I couldn't sign the contract, and I had to really just do nothing for 3 weeks. And it was that also gets in your, a little bit, messes with your mental a little bit, that you're just sitting there waiting, this fight's going to happen, and you have to just sit and heal a little bit.
So now, talking about your future here after that big win there, you're a free agent at the moment. So I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about that and talk a little bit about your husband here, because your husband, Gilbert, I'm sure everybody's familiar with your husband, a great UFC fighter. Now he's a great analyst as well. He wears a couple different hats. So you see, we have, if I wrote them all down correctly here, we have husband, father, coach, business partner, and manager. I think I covered all the bases over there in your household. So what's free agency been like for you? Because I know he's, kind of the front runner there helping you with all of that.
Yes, I'm really happy with Bellator. I love Scott Coker. They treat me really well. But I have to say, I would like to test myself against other 115ers and really fight some of the best. And right now, Bellator isn't opening up that division. So right after the fight, Gilbert and I do want to sit down and have a conversation about it, but we're really happy with Bellator. And, I might even move up to 125 so I can get in the mix there. But Gilbert had to work right away. So we haven't really got to sit down and map things out or talk about what he has in mind. Right now, he's gone in Vegas doing some desk work for ESPN. So he had to get right back to work. So we haven't really been able to sit down and talk about it. But before, like I said, I'm really happy with Bellator, and moving up to 125 is an option. But of course, I kind of want to test myself, I do want to test myself with some of the best in the 115 division anywhere. So that would be great also.
And I guess we'll kind of dissect a little bit there of what you said, but I want to start off with the whole Scott Coker thing there. What is it about Scott that makes him so likable? Because not that Dana White isn't likable, because I know a lot of fighters really do like him, but you constantly see over there in that promotion, a lot of butting heads. And I usually try not to compare, the two, because two completely different promotions, things are run differently. But it seems like everybody, I haven't talked to anybody yet that's had a bad thing to say about Bellator or Scott Coker. So what is it about Scott Coker that he's doing over there that makes everything so likable and makes you guys so happy?
They treat the fighters very well, and Scott has treated me very well, and the communication is great. And I really just haven't had any complaints. I feel like they're just act a little bit more like family, but I know all in all it's just business. So, with Bellator, it's just business. With any other organization, it's just business. But luckily, Scott, we've known him for a very long time. And I actually I was his amateur kickboxing champ, Strikeforce champ back in 2005 or 6. So we just have a long-standing relationship. And he communicates very well. He treats me very well. It's a respectful environment, positive environment. So yes, I don't have anything bad to say. And I think that just him being up front and just being respectful to all of us, we get treated very well, that I have nothing bad to say about him. I'm very happy with Scott Coker and Bellator.
Scott is very upfront and very forward with everybody too. No BS there. He tells it just how it is, short, sweet, to the point. Always a great guy, Scott Coker there. So now I want to talk a little bit about one of the things you were just saying there with the whole, you're at 115 pounds at straw weight. You're thinking about moving up a little bit. So we'll kind of get into all of that a little bit here. So we'll start with this past fight. You missed the 116-pound weight limit. I guess, what happened there? Was it a tough cut? Like, are you confident you could keep making 115 pounds, or is this something that was due to this whole coronavirus isn't making things easy on anybody? So was that kind of related? Because one of the other Bellator fighters that I interviewed had a problem with this whole COVID procedure, that he happened, I guess, like a miscalculation on his part.
Definitely, that is what happened. I ran out of time. I was 0.2 over. So if I just had a little bit more time, it was easy to make. I guess maybe I should have cut my hair or done something. I think maybe my hair was even a little bit damp. But it was just a miscalculation of not having the hot tub. and just there was limited restriction times in the weight room, and I'm used to waking up a little bit earlier, and I had everything was going according to plan, had my weight under control, maybe a little too confident, and I just ran out of time and not really, I wasn't used to using the little sauna, the individual sauna. So it kind of just threw me off, and I needed just a little bit more time to figure out what worked well for me during that cut. And I just ran out of time, a little bit of miscalculation and the weight room not being open at an extended hours, and not having a bathtub for the past, all my fights, I've used a bathtub to cut weight. So that was a little bit difficult. And then it got a little stressed when time was running out. So it was just a little miscalculation, but my weight was under control. I was confident. And I think just point two, it was just ridiculous. And I paid the price having to give her my opponent money. So that was, definitely never going to happen again. And COVID was definitely a little bit part of it, but I could have done better planning, but now I know. And 116 isn't, I could make it. Of course, I think every weight cut is a hard weight cut, but I can make it.
What's up with the bathtub situation? Was there none in like the hotel room, or were you guys not able to cut weight from your hotel room? Like, what was the scenario there?
We have to stick to a certain part of the hotel room, and we're quarantined. And I even wasn't able to, for the first couple days, stay with Gilbert. He had to stay in a separate room. I had to be by myself. So I wasn't really able to work out or leave the hotel room for the first couple days that I was there. And the side of the hotel we were in, none of the fighters' rooms had bathtubs. And I really didn't know that going in, but I could ask more questions. Bellator actually had everything professional and under control. I just did a little bit of miscalculation, not having the bathtub and getting used to that individual sauna.
That's very interesting. I'm really shocked by that one. I definitely would have thought 'cause a lot of fighters cut weight that way. I really thought that they would have had bathtubs for you guys, and that's very unfortunate. But obviously, you guys keep continuing the fight there. You'll be experienced, I guess, for the next time, and we'll see what the next time's going to be there. Hopefully, you'll still be with Bellator, and if it is, I know you were saying the 125-pound division's on your mind. Scott Coker at his press conference last night said, as far as his next Bellator Grand Prix that he'd like to do, it's going to be either between the 125-pound division, or he might even do with the men's bantamweight division. He hasn't narrowed down to those two. There's been rumblings of this women's flyweight Grand Prix. If that's the case, are you all hands on deck? Do you want to be a part of that and move up and make your flyweight debut there?
Definitely. If they have that, and I'm happy with Bellator and resign, then yes. It's fun. I do like the 115 weight class. I think that's the weight class for me, but Bellator is promoting 125, and I know I can compete with the best of them there, and it will be an exciting new motivation for me.
Do you ever see Scott Coker opening up the strawweight division to more fighters?
I hope so. I wasn't too active. It was a little hard in the Melendez household for both of us to fight, but now that Gilbert's kind of focusing on being a coach and his analyst work, I plan to get 3 to 4 fights in and really in the next couple of years be super active. And I wish that when I did sign with Bellator that I could have just kept going and kept fighting, and maybe that would have made a little bit more of a statement to Scott to open up the 115. But I was hoping to get that match with Ava Knight. She lost to Emily King, so then I ended up fighting Emily King. But there was a couple of girls that he brought in that I was excited about, and she was one of them, but she ended up taking that loss.
So now, one of the things that you just mentioned there was about the gym that you said. Obviously, Gilbert's your coach. You guys have the gym together, correct? Right? It's the gym you guys have together.
Yes, we have the gym together.
So, what's that kind of been like, being business partners and opening up your own gym, and especially running it during these times with COVID?
Right now, we're not running it. So in San Francisco, we're not opening. They say they're giving different restrictions and saying maybe 20% capacity, but there's just no way we can't open like that. So we have been closed since March. So it's been a little bit of a struggle to, see what's going to happen with that situation, and also training and our fighters that we have. And there's a lot of, our fight teams depending on us. So we've been able to privately train with the fight team, but our gym is closed right now. But before COVID, it was great. Gilbert and I make a great team, and it's we work really well together.
I was just gonna say, with all that, how was it preparing for this fight then? If you can't even go to the, your home base gym, there was just like just doing things out of your house, going to your garage, like other fighters have been doing, and kind of doing it that way.
Yes, it was a little bit of a challenge, and just not having all my coaches, not having all the classes, and just really having to schedule everything to the T. And it wasn't ideal, but of course, everyone's going through it. So, but goodness, how I really had it great before COVID, and had so many people around and so many training partners and so many classes to choose from. So this one was a lot of organizing and really scheduling to prepare.
So now, I guess a gym question then. Before COVID kind of came in and has everything all screwed up here, I know your husband's very close with the Diaz brothers. Did they ever come by your guys' gym and work out and poke their head in to see what's up?
Oh yes, all the time. Gilbert, Nate, Nick, and Jake, they're Dave Terrell. They all keep in touch. We try to always, switch around and meet up once in a while. Before actually my fight, Nate and his team came to visit, so that was a fun little thing that we all got together, and we got to see them. But yes, all the time, they're real teammates. They didn't come together because people recruited them. They started out young at white belts together, and they have definitely an awesome little brotherhood going on. And that everyone's still, they all own different gyms. Dave Terrell, Nick, and Nate, and they make it a point just to everyone meets up once in a while, and it's awesome energy, and it's seeing them together and how their dynamic is really, really neat.
So now I have to ask, and this is mainly for all the people watching out there. I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but everybody loves a good Nate or Nick Diaz story. Do you have one at the top of your head that comes to mind?
I don't have any exactly that come to mind. I think now they know that Nate is actually an awesome guy, Nate and Nick, and they would give the shirt off their backs for anyone. And people used to be a little bit more intimidated by them and thinking they always wanted to fight. But they're really, really good, loyal friends that will give their shirt off their back. But, we have been out a couple times with Nate, and I do notice that people really want to try to start fights with him. And it's interesting. It's very interesting.
I never understood that. Like, why would anybody want to start a fight with the UFC fighter? Like, I don't see. Well, I mean, I'm used to talking to you guys all the time, so I have no problem going up and talking to you guys. But I'd be almost, if I'm standing out in person in the street and there's like a boxer or UFC fighter out there, I wouldn't want to start a fight with them. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna kick your ass. Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't get it. I do not get it.
Well, anyway, I have another question for you about your husband here. So obviously, like we were saying, he does the analyst work for ESPN, and him and Dominic Cruz always do such great breakdowns, like the way it's victory for the fight. So I got to ask, when he's coaching, does he come into the gym and he's like, okay, here's what's going to happen. She's going to be coming here. She must look for this left hook, and then she's going to come over and go to the body. Like, well, does he get like really in depth to it where he's acting like your opponent? He's moving around like the way how they would, like he does when he's doing this analyst work for ESPN.
He does. He's really has a wonderful eye, and he can also really break down what's going on and really explain, and he knows how to articulate things really, really well. So yes, he does. He comes in with we're always analyzing fights together all the time, but he does such a great job on a game plan, on really just mapping out the direction that he wants to go in each practice and overall. So yes, we're lucky. We have one of the best, and he does such a good job with little details. These little details that really matter, that he can really break down and explain better than I've seen anybody explain.
Yeah, he really does do a fantastic job with all of that. And you guys have another member of your family there too. I know you guys have a daughter, and shout out to her, else we probably wouldn't be doing this interview right now. She was able to help you out getting Zoom set up and whatnot. So why don't you go ahead and give your daughter a shout out as well?
Yes, of course. Shout out to my daughter, Layla Kay. I don't know if you during my fight, I try to put her on my fight shorts, and this time her name was on my fight shirt, really big in handwriting in the back. So my daughter is a trooper. She supports us. She grew up in the fight game, and she knows when mom and dad are in training camp that it's a little cranky going on in the house, and she's really supportive of everything. She shows up to our practices, will bring me water. She decorated one of my water bottles one time, and one of the stickers that she put on is she put Bloody Beauty. And and all my girlfriends, we laugh about it, and we just are like, bloody beauty's coming. So she definitely is a big support system for us.
So mommy and daddy are fighters. Does the Melendez fighting genes you think gonna get passed down a generation there? Is your daughter gonna get involved with it, you think?
My daughter definitely doesn't have to fight, but she's going to know how to defend herself, and she trains. So, but Gilbert doesn't want her to fight, but I think she has a little fire in her, and I see her very competitive. She's very competitive, and she's really talented, and she's athletic. So I think maybe later on, I think she might want to, but she doesn't have to.
Gotcha. Keri, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking to you today. Before you run out, though, if you want to go ahead, plug your social media and your management sponsors, anything along those lines, so this way people know where to see you at.
Oh my God, I'm so bad with all this stuff. On Instagram, I'm Keri Melendez 415, and pretty sure the same thing on Twitter. You can look it up. And my sponsors, thanks so much to Local Foods. They definitely helped out with camp. The Mat Clean, they're awesome. Haga Gear made my top. Knox Gear printed on my shorts. I have Boomkinis. Rufka Sport supported me, and Dog Boxer gave me some hand wraps, and definitely was a part of the team. So I had some awesome people behind me. Big support system.
There you have it, everybody. That was Keri Taylor Melendez. What a great interview. She's awesome, and looking forward to seeing what she does with her future. Hopefully it'll stay there in Bellator, and we'll see her make a run at the 125-pound division there. Maybe it'll be a Grand Prix there in the future. Who knows? But I just want to thank everybody for watching today's interview. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can see more interviews like this. And remember, keep checking out MyMMANews. We do a great job of putting out daily content there on a daily basis, 7 days a week. So make sure you keep checking that out as well. We'll see you later, everybody.